learning stuff fun.
There is this unserved hunger. And I'm delighted to be a servant of that hunger. The universe has been invoked. You know why? My big-ass dick, the most powerful dick in the world. My dick is more powerful than your dick.
Huh.
My dick can resonate.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Think about it.
What?
Think about this. Joe.
Really?
Joe, chill. Listen to me.
Damn.
You ready? My dick would feel as smooth as a cue ball to you.
Wow.
I imagine my future as a superhero, defender of dick.
What?
We can aim my dick to any place on Earth, and it'll get there in less than 45 minutes.
What?
And destroy the whole city. So it's like, that's it.
How do you figure that?
Oh my gosh.
How so?
How so?
How so?
Because
what?
Because I've got this big ass dick. This huge dick.
Oh, stop. That's not true. This is crazy.
What? You didn't, Joe? We're two completely different species of human being.
Stop. That's not what
Clearly superior to you in ways that you don't even know yet.
Stop saying that. That's not true. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, but let's get that in a minute. Just get over it.
This is
You
stupid.
don't know what is true. You don't even know what the question is to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Only 64% are convinced that the world is a ball. The world is a circle. That the world is a spheroid?
Okay, let me think. Should I rip your neck out now or later?
Holy
Oh
shit.
my gosh, you're dead. Whoa. Whoa.
Somebody requested that. All right, let's get to the intro. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's up? See if I got this. There we go. Let's get some nice, happy music. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday. Oh, what a beautiful day, huh? Things been going great. Everybody's really upset about the firing, or not firing, the indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. It's hard to feel bad. It really is. I mean, these are the people who, they kicked off this censorship. Like, they let the censorship out of the bag. And we told them, we said, hey, this same shit's gonna happen to you. You better stop cheering and promoting and being happy about people being kicked off the internet. And this is not really even that bad, to be honest. If it was a platform that did this, I would be like, yeah, I don't agree with it. ABC is a fucking broadcaster. It functions as a publisher. It can do what the fuck it wants. And yeah, it sucks that they can use this to make Jimmy Kimmel into a martyr. He's a martyr, guys. Jimmy Kimmel, man, he's a fucking martyr. It sucks that they can do that. And you can kind of blame Trump a little bit because he should have saw that, like, he didn't need to say anything. They didn't need to come out and put any pressure on it so they can make it so the left can go and be like, oh, this is Trump. This is the government forcing censorship. Dude, he had no fucking ratings. His ratings was dog shit. It was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time before he was gone. It's like, that shit's dinosaur media, dude. It's on its way out. Like, who gives a fuck? And ABC as a company obviously didn't want to keep them around because, hey, they, unlike platforms, have to worry about getting sued for the shit the people on their network say. And when you're coming out and fucking lying about who murdered Charlie Kirk, I don't know. That's probably not a good look for the networks. Just saying. But yeah, we got a new free speech martyr, guys, Jimmy Kimmel. But yeah, it's hard for me to care. It really is. You know, if I was in charge of everything right now, I'm not, but if I was, I would be focusing on Section 230. I would be going hard to make a distinguish between publishers and platforms and really limit the ability of platforms to manipulate freedom of speech. It would be a very nuanced issue where it's like, yeah, they can censor porn, they can censor violent shit, like, if they want to be a Christian site or whatever, they can censor Satan worship. Like, there will be, an ability for them to censor, but it'd be very narrow and very limited. And I would be working towards getting more free speech in this country, but that's never going to happen. Free speech is dead. It's dead. So sit back and enjoy watching your enemies get censored. Because what else do we have? We're not going to solve this fucking problem. It's not getting solved. There's no, incentive for the government to solve it. And then when you try to solve it, people will just argue with you. Well, it's a private platform. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter that they've captured all the fucking communication of this country. And almost, 80, 90% of communication goes, none of that matters. It's a private company and they have a First Amendment right. And their First Amendment right means that none of you get a First Amendment right because their First Amendment right is more important than your First. It's like, do we want freedom of speech or not? Like, shit needs to be done. But we're not. Nobody's going to do anything. So sit back and enjoy when the people you hate get nuked. And in this case, again, Jimmy Kimmel, it's ABC, dude. It's Sinclair Broadcasting. They can fucking decide whether they want somebody else. This is not a platform situation. You guys said nothing when the platforms did it. But now when it's a big company deciding, hey, this show sucks, nobody likes it, the ratings suck, we barely get any viewers, probably not barely making any money, the advertisers are mad, just pissed off more than half of this country. Yeah, maybe we should get rid of them. Oh, but now it's a censorship issue. I'm crying, guys. I'm crying over this. I'm crying. And then Destiny got demonetized off YouTube. Destiny's, I don't know how long he's going to be on YouTube. He thinks that they're going to ban him pretty soon. I don't think YouTube should ban him. I mean, demonetization, I think that's kind of shitty too. But at the end of the day, when you're somebody who's like, looks like you're calling for violence and your rhetoric's getting pretty violent, I don't think advertisers want to be associated with that. So, I don't know. I don't have a hard time feeling bad for Destiny. He's another one who celebrated as everybody was getting nuked. He celebrated the banning of Alex Jones. He celebrated all of this. So it's hard for me to work up the feelings of sadness for you. It's really difficult. What's up, everybody in the chat? How's everybody doing? Tonight on Being Brother. What's up, Stizzy? John McCarter. The video at the beginning was a request from Red. We got multiple John McCarters now. Red John McCarter requested that last episode. I forgot it, so I figured I'd play it at the beginning. So shout out to Red John McCarter. Let me get the music off. Hope everybody's doing good. Let me get this music going off here. All right. What do we got? What do we got to start with? Good, not bad. Oh yeah, I think I got a super chat. Let me catch up with that. Thank you, Be Unstoppable. You also gifted a membership. Thank you, Be Unstoppable.
Be _unstoppable_4_life super chatted $5. This Bills game is frustrating me because it shouldn't be this close. On a positive note, fuck Jimmy Kimmel.
Can't disagree with that. John, I think you sent 2 super chats, Be Unstoppable, but I think the problem it comes when you send the super chat before I go live, it doesn't get picked up by the system. Let me refresh and see if it shows up. Yeah. You got to send them when they're live, Be Unstoppable. If you send them before I'm live, it doesn't get picked up. So yeah, I don't see it at all to be able to play it. Sorry, if it shows up later, I'll find it, but it's not showing up for me. For the read, the robot voice to read it. All right, what are we starting with here today? Let me see. Let me get on the fucking bookmarks here. Sinclair. So here's where it all started. To be honest, the idea that this is censorship from the government, like I wish Trump and the FCC guy would have shut the fuck up and just let things play out. This probably would have happened anyway. But they're just trying to make it into something now where like, oh, they're trying to make free speech like it's their issue, like they care about free speech. They don't. They only care that they control the levers of censorship so that we're the ones getting fucking censored. That's all they care about. But maybe there's two things that can play out here. Either this just keeps getting worse, because by the way, hopefully, it never happens, but it will happen. Democrats will get back in control, and then we'll be fucking the ones getting censored again. That's, it's going to just keep going back and forth, and it's going to suck. Or maybe this will be something that helps the other side, the Democrats realize, hey, I think we could actually find common ground with Republicans and figure out a way to like create free speech protections on the internet. Not for ABC. ABC can get rid of whoever it wants. It's a publisher, dude. The difference. But for platforms, that's where the real free speech battle is in this country. It's on the platforms. If we want free speech, it's not ABC's a publisher. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's the platforms where that battle needs to be waged. With their algorithms, with their their ability to moderate. But I've been trying to talk to some of the leftists about it. I'm like, dude, okay, are you on board now? Like, we need to really get serious about reforming Section 230 to enforcing platforms to actually behave as platforms and not have their cake and eat it too, where they can be a publisher, but then can't be sued, but then, can moderate anybody they want and pick and choose who, this shit needs to be fixed. But they don't really care about that. They just care that ABC got rid of Jimmy Kimmel. That's all they care about. They don't really care about fixing the situation. They just care like, oh, one of our leftists got fired. Somebody I like, and this is a moment to pretend like we care about free speech and to try to like own the right. But they really don't fucking care. They really don't. Let me pull this up. So yeah, this is Sinclair Inc. This is the broadcasting company like behind ABC, the one that I think that has the FCC license. Be unstoppable. Okay, there you go.
_unstoppable_4_life super chatted $2. Poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji.
A lot of poop emojis, bro.
Poop emoji, poop emoji, crying face 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 emoji.
Okay. I love you, Be Unstoppable, but please, no more super chats like that, okay? Please, no more. No more. They go on too long. It take too long for them to fucking say it. I will get through another super chat, and then we'll get to the news. See if the Larry DM went. Oh, I already paused it. That's what it was. All right. We'll get through this one, and then we'll get back to it. Thank you, Larry.
DM super chatted $10. We are heading to some type of civil war.
It looks like it.
No idea where this ends. With that said, the right cannot sit back and let the left railroad them, then act offended.
I agree. I don't see the off ramp at this point. It's I don't see how we de-escalate. I don't know, man. It's thinking like 5-10 years down the road, like the trajectory we're on. Like I don't think the two sides are going to figure out how to get along. I don't think they can. I don't think they can figure it out. It's just going to keep fucking escalating. So that is a fear I have. Hopefully I'm wrong, but dude, it does seem to be going down a really dangerous path. So yeah, this is Sinclair Incorporated. Due to problematic comments regarding the murder of Charlie Kirk in programming provided to broadcast stations by ABC, Sinclair and its partners, which operate ABC stations in 30 markets in the U.S., will stop airing Jimmy Kimmel's show until further notice. Basically, ABC, they're all agreed like he's done. They haven't fired him, but he's suspended indefinitely. So looks like there might be a window for him to come back. There's stories going around that he was about to come out and do like basically double down. Because the big thing that he did that's inexcusable, that where he should have known better at this point, was he came out and tried to pretend like the man who murdered Charlie Kirk was MAGA. And the left's been doing this, and it's kind of disgusting. It's kind of disgusting. And for him to do this on his platform as big as it is, it pissed off a lot of people because he's just fucking lying, propagandizing people, trying to fucking spin reality. And, this is what they do. This is what he's always done. But this time it hits a little different because a man was just murdered. So they're just done with it. They're just done with it. It's like, you come on and you lie about shit every night, but now we're talking about a guy getting murdered. And now you're trying to fucking spin things to just blame the people you hate and not even look at the reality of the situation and be honest in your reporting when we're talking about somebody getting murdered. Like, the stakes were really high. But that's what he's always done. That's what Kimmel does. That's what Colbert does. They just come on and they just fucking lie. And they just feed that left-wing audience exactly what they want. Because that's probably the only way they exist anymore. Because the shows suck. They're not funny. They're not entertaining. There's no reason to watch them other than like, ooh, I want to get my grift on. I want to go and like hear this guy feed me all the political talking points. So like, they're like, okay, the only way we're going to get an audience is if we just grift politically to this one audience. And like, it seems like they got captured by it. And I don't know. But to me, ABC, all this old school dinosaur shit, like, people barely watch it, dude. Nobody's on that shit anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. It really kind of needs to go away. We don't need that shit. It's never going to go away completely, I don't think, but people aren't watching it. Like, what's the point? So yeah, of course, here comes the left. They're all super upset. Super, super mad. Not that Kimmel, is lying about who murdered Charlie Kirk. No, not about that. But because the company decided, hey, you know what? I don't think we want to keep you around anymore. It's not really worth it. It's not really good for our bottom line. And you know what? We might get sued. And I heard Erica Kirk is suing them for $40 million or some shit. You got to remember, ABC is not a platform. They're not like YouTube and Facebook, and like, they don't have immunity to lawsuits for the things people say. They can be sued for the shit Jimmy Kimmel says. This is a totally different story. So like the free speech bullshit, the only reason it plays at all is because Trump, and them put pressure to take their license away. That's why that message plays. Otherwise, it's just another failed fucking stand-up comic or failed fucking late night host who did a terrible job and pissed off his employers and pissed off the advertisers and pissed off everybody. So they're getting rid of him. But no, now he gets to leave as a martyr and not just a failed late night host, which is how he should have left, as just a fucking failed late night host. But no, now he's a martyr of the left, guys. How wonderful.
That is why we exist. Not to knuckle under, not to do what we're told, but to stand up and to say, listen, if you want to pull these licenses, then we're going to go to court, and we'll be in the court of public opinion. But you don't get to go on a podcast and set policy for American media, for an American media institution that's been around a lot longer than me, you, or Donald Trump. This is a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said, and even hateful speech is protected. This is not acceptable. If you are going to...
It's not a First Amendment thing, though. It's ABC. ABC is essentially operating as a publisher, okay? Then you have to have, to be broadcast over the airwaves, there's limited fucking airwaves to be broadcast on, you have to have an FCC license. And there are certain, ways you have to behave in order to have an FCC license. And it's just, I don't know. They're pretending like this is a platform that got rid of them and not a fucking network that behaves as a publisher. And that's disingenuous to me. That's bullshit. And, I'd like to come together with the left and go, hey, yeah, censorship. Yeah, this is a problem. Let's figure out a way to actually get the platforms to stop. But then they'll cut that off right away. They'll be like, well, the platforms are a private company. They can do whatever they want. Okay, well, then ABC is a private company. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Oh, but then Trump put pressure on it. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, they could have fucking said no. If they cared about Kimmel, if they thought he was worth it to their brand and he was making them so much money, they could have said, too bad. We're keeping them. Sue us. Do whatever you want. We'll win in court. Go ahead. But no, obviously they wanted to get rid of fucking Kimmel. Clearly they wanted to get rid of Kimmel.
To run a media organization, it's called a news organization, you have to stand up to government bullying anywhere in the world, and certainly in the United States.
Well, the job should be to, speak truth to power, even when they...
Yeah, but he didn't do that. He lied. It was not that he made fun of Trump because Trump said, oh, look at the planes or jets or whatever the fuck Trump was, when they asked how Trump was doing. That wasn't it. It was that you lied verifiably when you should have known better. You lied about who did it. You tried to paint MAGA as the fucking ones who, I mean, at a time when we're getting murdered, or one of us got murdered, you're trying to paint the person who got murdered in his movement as the murderer. It's fucking disgusting. That's what the problem is. That's not lying about shit is not standing up to power.
There are people who don't like the word truth anymore.
These people are so full of shit, dude. They're so full of shit, bro. So full of shit. CNN and Brian Stelter are absolutely melting down. Brian Stelter, the guy who made it his whole career to go after people on the right, like Alex Jones. Like, it was every episode. I forgot the name of his stupid show that he used to have on CNN. But it was every episode. It was him and that fucking the fucking what's that other guy's name? That real ugly guy that Trump that Alex Jones was screaming at in person. I forget his name, but he's really ugly. You guys know who I'm talking about. Their whole show was just going after people on the right. And why isn't social media coming down and censoring and moderating their platform? They're letting all this hate speech be spread everywhere. These are the people who fucking not only cheerleaded the censoring of people, but they actively pushed for it to happen. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad about Jimmy Kimmel getting fired from his late night show. Okay, get back to me when Jimmy Kimmel loses all of his social media platforms. Okay, get back to me when that happens. Then I'll care. But a network wants to get rid of a fucking guy who just said some stupid shit, who just lied about something that was just unforgivable, really. That level of lying about something that important in this moment in history, and you come on and lie about it. I don't feel bad at all, bro. Let's hear what these clowns have to say.
Go ahead.
I'm interested because are they sending everyone home? You know what's happening on the scene. You know the show would have been taping within the next hour, so people would be there. Yes, this is very abrupt, very abrupt.
And this is all about jawboning. It's all about public pressure. You know, actually revoking FCC licenses is extremely difficult. I wrote about this last fall when candidate Donald Trump was talking on the campaign trail about wanting to punish stations by taking away their licenses. And throughout the history of the country, ever since we've had broadcast television, license revocations are extraordinarily rare. Once you've got one, you're pretty much guaranteed to keep it.
Yeah, maybe that's a problem. Maybe if you're a proven fucking propaganda outlet, you know, there is a thing where it's like, this is kind of old school because you remember we used to have just our rabbit ears. We didn't have cable TV. You know, television was essentially radio, but for the eyes, right? It was all broadcast over the airwaves and you got your little rabbit ears and there was 3 channels that were licensed to broadcast over our airwaves and you had to be responsible to get, you know, to have that license. Like you couldn't be lying or promoting fucking, you couldn't go on and be like, yeah, go murder people. Like there was a responsibility to the country, right? That's why you had an FCC license and like it could be revoked if you fucking, all of a sudden you weren't acting in a way that benefited the fucking country. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe we should revoke all of their licenses. I don't know. That wouldn't be bad. All of them. Even Fox News, get rid of all of them. Fuck them.
So the threat is not that the FCC is actually going to take away a license. It's about the public noise. It's about the shame and embarrassment. It's about Brendan Carr going on podcasts and embarrassing ABC.
Look, bro, I guarantee you, if Jimmy Kimmel was making money, if he had a great show, I heard he's getting like 200,000, like Tim Pool gets more viewers than Jimmy Kimmel. I heard he was getting like 200,000 viewers an episode, something like that. Like, that's embarrassing for a company like ABC, but that's also a sign of the times. This, you know, it's dinosaur media. It's going away. Everybody's on the internet now. Very few people are watching television. More people get Jimmy Kimmel through clips on YouTube than they do watching ABC. And I do think they're, you know, because it's a fucking network. I think YouTube gives them preference in the algorithm, so that inflates their views on YouTube as well. But I mean, yeah, Who gives a fuck, dude? You're gone. He's gone. You're not a martyr. You're just a failed fucking late night host, bro. Fucking crybaby fucking loser. That's who you are. Goodbye. Nobody's going to miss you. Nobody's going to miss you.
There's a term for this. It's jawboning, and that's what we've seen happen today in a very real way. Trump vowed retribution on the campaign trail.
And it never would have worked if they didn't already want to get rid of Kimmel. Since they already wanted to get rid of Kimmel, that's why the jawboning worked. That's why all the complaints worked. Okay? It's like if this had happened out of the blue and Kimmel had like a very popular show and everybody loved him, like, yeah, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of fucked up. But this is after he did what he just did and generated so much heat for the company he works for and puts them at risk of getting sued. Like, this is not happening in a vacuum. There are things he did that led to this.
And he's getting it. He's getting it against entertainers and comedians. But Aaron, for every reaction, there is a counter reaction. Stephen Colbert has already been joking about getting hired somewhere else. Those jokes mask a very real intention, right? Yeah. Where will he get picked up instead? If Kimmel parts ways with ABC, and again, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kimmel's contract is coming due soon. Kimmel will probably end up somewhere else. And if big, old-fashioned mainstream media companies don't have the guts to employ these people, then we're going to see startups start to flourish. You know, we talk about the Substack era with people launching newsletters and live streams on YouTube.
It's about the bottom line, bro. It's not about guts. Does the show make them money? Does the show make them more money than the show loses? Does the show bring bad press? Does the show make 50% of the country want to boycott our fucking network and all of our products? Does the show embarrass our network by lying about obviously proven shit that like anybody can look at and go, oh, he's not telling the truth? It's not about guts, you dumbass. He embarrassed the fucking network, dude.
YouTube. We're going to see more of that if these old-fashioned media companies can't stand a little bit of pressure from the president.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it is stunning to see.
No, too bad all the social media companies that you pressured to ban Alex Jones and a fucking host of other people on the right. I wish they would have been able to stand up to the pressure you put on them, Brian. Oh, but no, now this is like a serial killer crying about the violence that's enacted on him when he's fucking gets the electric chair. He's like, this is so wrong. Well, how can you approve of this violence? And it's like, you murdered 50 women and chopped them up and left them in the woods. Oh, but this is wrong. It's like, that's what it is, dude. You guys are, no one feels bad for you. You brought this on. You let this cat out of the bag, and now the cat's grown and it's eating a lot of food and it's really big and now it's coming after everybody. Congratulations.
Such a thing happen and to show this world that we're living in. Van Jones is joining me now on the phone. So Van, all of a sudden you see this headline, Jimmy Kimmel put on hold indefinitely by ABC News.
I have a prediction. I think Kimmel will get back on. I bet you give it 6 months, they'll have Kimmel back on the air, dude. I bet you, because they haven't fired him. It's just an indefinite suspension. He'll probably eventually apologize and they'll have him back. I bet you they bring him back.
News after the head of the FCC goes on a far-right podcast and says we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And do you think in your mind it's possible this might not be real?
I don't know what's real or what's not real. I do know that a news organization anywhere in the world has a responsibility to stand up to government bullying, to government censorship. That is what we do.
I do wish Trump and that dude would have just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, let the people handle it, dude. The people would have been, I'm pretty sure they would have, something like this would have happened without the FCC guys and Trump being like, we're going to pull your license. Because just let the people handle it. Let the people boycott. Let the people send their letters. I mean, it was so fucking terrible. You could have shut the fuck up and something would have still happened. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because no matter what, even if Trump and them would have shut up, I guarantee you the left would have still said, this is Trump's fault. Like, no matter what Trump would have done, it still would have been Trump's fault. It still would have been Trump demanding they get fired. So whatever, dude. I'm going to sleep good tonight, Jimmy. And Jimmy will be fine, dude. He's rich as fuck. He's rich as fuck. He's still got all of his social media platforms. He could go start his own podcast. And it's going to be the biggest podcast on YouTube in no time. He's totally fine. He just, you know what? Like a lot of us on the right who don't even get any fucking opportunities from corporations because we're too toxic. Welcome to the club, Jimmy. Corporations don't want to fuck with you, okay? Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
That is why we exist. Not to knuckle under, not to do what we're told, but to stand up and to say, listen, if you want to pull these licenses, then we're going to go to court, and we'll be in the court of public opinion. But you don't get to go on a podcast and set policy for American media, for an American media institution that's been around
Well, I guess he does. If they just did, then they just did. I guess he does.
A lot longer than me, you, or Donald Trump. This is a.
They're only mad because it's not them fucking pulling the strings. That's the only reason they're mad, right? And at this point, the way they've behaved, I'm almost not. It's not out of the realm of possibility to me to be like, look, this is kind of a Cold War. Kind of feels like a Cold War. Should we worry about having the higher ground at this point, or should we just, defeat these fucking people? I don't know, man. I'm not going to feel bad. Not going to feel bad at all. But maybe this might lead to them actually getting serious about free speech. And maybe we can actually do something about it. I'm still open to that possibility, but I doubt it. I really doubt it.
A red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said, and even hateful speech is protected. This is not acceptable. If you are going to run a media organization, it's called a news organization, you have to stand up to government bullying anywhere in the world, and certainly in the United States.
Well, the job should be to speak truth to power, even when there are people who don't like the word truth anymore. All right, Van, stay with us. I want to bring in the Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia because he is the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee.
Who's this guy?
And Congressman, I appreciate your time. We had planned to talk about something very different and obviously very important tonight in the Epstein files. This news, though, has just broken, and it is of utmost importance at this very moment. May I just ask you, what's your response when you hear what ABC has done after the FCC chair said we could do this the easy way or the hard way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we are all just learning about what just happened, not having all the information, but what I'm hearing is pretty outrageous.
Someone asked why the right doesn't care. I'll explain it again why I don't really care. Because what matters to me is the publisher platform distinction. This is not a platform. This is ABC. Okay? Is it a bad look that Trump threatened to pull their license? Yeah. I don't think that was, I think that was the wrong move. But at the end of the day, none of us have a right to freedom of speech when it comes to a private entity, right? Like, I can't go to your house and fucking say whatever I want. You can kick me out of your house. It's the same thing with ABC. They're not a platform. They're not YouTube. They're not Facebook. It's different for platforms because platforms have immunity, and platforms, because these companies have essentially monopolized human speech, these platforms, I think, should be treated differently. And I think we need to actually go in there and add more to Section 230 to really promote freedom of speech on these platforms. This is not it. This is not a platform. This is essentially, it's a broadcaster, but it acts as a publisher. Okay? They could just be like, Jimmy Kimmel, I think you look stupid, and that's why we're getting rid of you. Jimmy Kimmel, we think you're ugly. Jimmy Kimmel, you smell funny. They don't need any fucking reason to get rid of them other than, hey, we don't want you here. That's the difference. They act as a publisher. They have no obligation to host Jimmy Kimmel's speech. Okay? Now, you add the angle of, Trump put all this pressure on them, so this is the government censoring them. It's like, look, I get that argument, but this is not happening in a vacuum. You're ignoring everything else going on and all the pressure coming from the regular American people and just focusing on, Trump said this, so therefore this is the government forcing them to do it. I don't think that's the case. I think they want to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. I think they want to. This is not the first time Trump's tried to pressure them to get rid of somebody. I don't think this is... these people don't like Trump. A lot of these people that run these fucking platforms, they run these companies. They're leftists. They're not Trump supporters. This is a guy who fucked up, and now he's paying the consequences of fucking up in a very royal way, when everybody's eyeballs are on him, because this is a time where like tensions are up, tensions are high, because somebody just got murdered. There was just a political assassination that changes the landscape we're in. So yeah, that's why I don't care, because this is not a platform. They're a publisher. They don't have to fucking platform his speech.
Look, we can all, of course, agree that political violence is horrific. What happened to Charlie Kirk is horrific. But the idea that someone is going to get pulled off a news program, off a channel that's supposed to be independent, and that ABC is making this decision because of possible political pressure through the president.
Possible. Yeah. I don't know. Every message I see, I don't see like, well, because of the pressure from the government. Like, if they were to come out, they should come out. If that's the case, then ABC, Sinclair Broadcasting should come out and say, we did this because we're afraid of Trump and we're afraid of losing our license. Not because what he said embarrassed our company, showed us, made us look like liars, and pissed off more than half the country, because it's not even right or left at this point. You know, this has brought more than half of the country together, this murdering of Charlie Kirk. And yeah. But yeah, okay, it's all Trump. It's always Trump. Everything's Trump. It's always Trump's fault. It's not that you fucked up. It's not that you fucking pushed crazy rhetoric against one side to the point where you drove a lot of people crazy, where they go around seeing Nazis everywhere they look. And then one of those people went and murdered one of these so-called Nazis who you've been calling a Nazi. And, you know, but no, everything's Trump. Trump's bad, and Trump did. No, this is the rooster coming home to roost. That's what this is. This is karma. This is you fucked up, and now you're dealing with the consequences.
Is both stunning and outrageous. And so I think that as information comes out, we've got to understand what exactly happened, who made these decisions. And there's a lot of questions right now. I think the foundation of a democracy is also having a strong, independent news organizations and a strong, independent media. And it's a huge, important part of democracy. So I'm honestly pretty stunned. I mean, what happened with Stephen Colbert, what's happening right now with Jimmy Kimmel, this cannot be a pattern in the United States.
Guys, if they had a very popular show, that was fucking killing it, both of them would still be there. Okay. Oh, but Colbert had the best ratings in late night. The best ratings among a bunch of shows that get terrible fucking ratings. Congratulations, you're the worst of the worst. Or you're the best of the worst. Nobody's watching this shit. Maybe they're making money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they'd be making money. I mean, I guess because adverts. I don't know. But nobody's watching this shit. That's the problem. That's why they're not sticking by them. If they were huge and they were like really bringing in the numbers and really fucking doing good work for the company would have stuck by them.
We've got to stand up and allow the media to be independent.
Well, it is unfortunately a pattern now. We're gonna queue up again in just a second what Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, said on that that right-wing podcast earlier today. But first, just because you made the point, Congressman, that what Jimmy Kimmel said was not celebratory or hate speech. Which it wasn't. And again, I will make the point that there are some, including people like Ted Cruz, who came out yesterday and said even that speech is protected in the United States. So I'm not trying to put up that would be some sort of an excuse. I am just pointing out that's not what he said. I want to play again for anyone just joining to understand what it was that Jimmy Kimmel said that prompted the FCC chair to say we could do this the easy or the hard way. Here's Jimmy Kimmel.
That's going to cut off. We've already seen the clip. Basically, he fucking tries to paint MAGA as the ones who killed him, who killed Charlie Kirk, and then he makes it look like Trump doesn't give a shit about Kirk. I mean, it was a little bit of misleading editing, because there's that whole press conference, that whole fucking not press conference, the whole whatever. He's out there waiting for the helicopter, talking to the press. They'd already asked him questions about fucking Charlie Kirk. He already went into detail about what his concerns was. They asked him. He said he definitely doesn't want to see his side do anything violent, and then he talked about the radical left. And then at the end of that conference, they asked him how he was doing, and he mentioned that. So it's misleading where you take out the full context of his full message about Charlie Kirk and make it look like, oh, he just cares about himself and what's going on about himself. And it's like, But that wasn't what it was. It was that he fucking made it out like MAGA was the ones who killed Charlie Kirk, which that's what the left wants to hear. So I'm not surprised that he said that, because shows like that have to just tell the audience what they want to hear, which is what they want to hear is, oh, it was a white guy, a white racist guy, probably a groiper, who murdered Charlie Kirk. That's what they want to hear. And he gave them that. So good on you, Jimmy. You lied to please your audience. And now, hopefully you're not coming back, because your show sucked. You weren't funny. And let's get somebody funny. Let's get Alex Jones. Let's get Alex Jones to do the new. Somebody made an AI edit. Maybe I can find it and play it in a little bit, where Alex Jones takes over Jimmy Kimmel's show. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, I don't feel bad. No, I do not feel bad. So, just a reminder.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
The gods of cancel culture. The literal creatures who created cancel culture. And I feel bad for them. I feel so bad.
What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country.
Yeah. He said they were trying to, again, they're victims. Tucker Carlson was trying to get her murdered. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. Oh, dude. AOC. Wonderful. Here's Jimmy Kimmel celebrates Tucker Carlson getting fired from Fox. So people say, well, this is not equivalent because the government didn't pressure. No, this is what this is. This is a company getting rid of somebody. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. This is not a platform. This is a publisher. This is somebody who can decide at any moment, yeah, we just don't like what you're saying, so we're going to not have you on our network. But let's ignore that, right?
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means.
And it was really weird that they fired Tucker when he had the biggest show. Fired away. Like he was like number one and they still fired him. I wonder, I forget what that was about. Why did they fire him? What was it about? But it's worked out well for Tucker, and it'll work out well for you, Jimmy. Because you can go on these platforms where you should be able to lie, where you should be able to be wrong, where you should have the protections of the First Amendment. Maybe that's what you should do, bro. And then we can all come together to reform Section 230, or I don't know, there's multiple ways to fix it. You can make these platforms utilities, treat them like we did landlines. Or I don't know, you could break them up, antitrust them, break them up, make them compete. I think that will end up with more free speech on the internet that way too. So maybe we can come together now, but I doubt it. Because you guys don't really give a fuck about freedom of speech. I've had enough debates with you fuckheads to know you don't care. You don't care. You come with that fucking, oh, well, the Supreme Court said a private company can do whatever it wants. And it's like using the First Amendment as justification to destroy the First Amendment in this country. Well, it's the private company's right to censor whoever they want, and you can't tell them who they can have on their platforms or not. And it's like, oh, okay, so their First Amendment means we don't have a First Amendment. Because essentially that's what it is. They're like, oh, but the Founding Fathers wrote it. Dude, the Founding Fathers couldn't have predicted the technology that we're dealing with in this day and age where most of human communications has been captured by a private entity. Oh, but it's my private property. Okay, well, what if I went around and bought up all the private property? I just literally bought every square inch of land in this country. What if I did that? Because that's kind of the closest analogy to what YouTube, Google, Facebook, what they have. And what if I just bought every piece of land in the fucking country and I owned every piece of land and I'm just like, well, we don't want you here, so you're just banned from the country now. Right? There are limitations. In our Founding Fathers, it's more important the intent of the Constitution than the fucking wording of the Constitution. The intent is to fucking always promote freedom of speech. And where we're at right now, we essentially don't have it. So, again, if we're not going to have freedom of speech, then let's just try to get the people we hate censored. I mean, that's the game we're all playing, isn't it? That's the game you fucking put us into. That's the game you set the rules for. You brought the game over to our table and laid it out. So that's the game we're playing now, right? Let's just censor our enemies, right? That's the game. You started it. We're stuck in the fucking paradigm you created. Congratulations.
Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's
so funny, dude. We should have actually never got rid of him. He's hilarious, guys. He's so funny. Thank you, Olive.
Olive super chatted $5. ABC also just suspended TV reporter Benny Harmony for making a non-partisan tribute to Charlie. They clearly just wanted Jimmy gone and needed an excuse.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, dude. Like they don't want. Again, it's not a profitable thing. Like they're keeping it around because it's a legacy thing. These networks have always had a late night show, so they're keeping it around. But nobody's watching it. It's not generating any interest. And they've all been captured by just left-wing fucking ideology to where the only people that watch it are people that just, oh, tell me how Trump sucks. That's it. Just tell me how bad Trump is. Please say it again. Say Trump orange again. Please, please. And it's like, that's how useless of a fucking network or of a show it is. That it only exists to grift. That's the only way it can pull an audience is just to grift politically to one side. What's this about Benny? And thank you for the super chat, Olive. This is Benny Harmony. Let me see. News station denies suspending former Springfield TV anchor over Charlie Kirk comments. Let me see here. Oh, of course, I got to pay for this. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Maybe I'll try to look into more of it, but I'm not sure what you mean. Like, was it a touching tribute to Charlie Kirk, or was it a backhanded tribute to Charlie Kirk? Like, oh, murder's bad, and I'm sorry for his family, but he said a bunch of terrible things. Was it one of those things? I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. Take care, Jimmy. We're gonna miss you guys. We're gonna miss you so much. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, we miss you. I'm gonna sleep real good tonight. We got Don Lemon on Piers Morgan coming up as well. We got a couple clips from it. Don Lemon he's such a fucking embarrassment. He's such an embarrassment. Let's listen to his take.
Jimmy Kimmel, they're trying to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. I'm sure you've heard the news by now, but I've been going through the internet looking for the clips to see what they're mad or upset about, and I can't find it. I can't find it. The one that they have on there, I don't see where that's even controversial. The guy's a comedian. This is the same party, the same group of people who complained about everything is too woke. Comedians can't say anything anymore. They're killing comedy. The folks who are complaining about killing comedy are killing comedy. The folks who are complaining about canceling people are canceling people.
Dude, go talk to ABC. Complain to fucking ABC, okay? If he had a huge enough audience that people really want to watch him, and not just some fringe little fucking audience that's not worth it to ABC, then go complain to ABC, and I'm sure they'll keep him. But the reality is, Don, nobody wants to listen to idiots like you and Jimmy. Nobody cares about what you think. You've lost all credibility. You're liars. We all see you're liars. The only people that don't see that you're lying are your fellow liars who just agree with lying for power. So good riddance, dude. Do a better job and maybe you'd survive these type of things, Don, but you don't. You're terrible at your jobs. And now there's no reason to keep you around once the fucking wind changes. And everybody's like, actually, these people suck. And, everybody's pissed off about the murder of somebody. Sorry. Do a better job.
What does that tell you? That they don't believe in anything that they're saying, that they've said, that they have no core. All it is. Yeah,
because what we said is that companies like ABC are not allowed to fire fucking their talent when they don't see any reason to keep them around. That's always been the core of our argument is ABC's got to platform the entire world. Once you get a job at ABC, you can never be fired, and everything you say, they have to listen, they have to promote you and platform you. And no, you work for a company, and they literally tell you what to do and what to say. And if they don't like you, they can get rid of you for any old fucking reason. If you got a problem, you can sue them. Good luck with that. This is not the same thing. It's so disingenuous. It's always so fucking disingenuous.
Is If it doesn't fit their particular ideology or belief, then they don't want to hear it. And that's the moment that we're in now. This is a very dangerous and scary moment for America. This should send a chill or a shiver up every American spine, regardless.
No. They actually gave me a stiffy.
If they're Democrat or a Republican. This is some scary shit. We don't want people ratting out people who are saying things that they don't agree with, or saying things that they deem to be negative about the sad and tragic death of Charlie Kirk.
You know, I'm more upset about Destiny getting demonetized than I am about fucking Jimmy Kimmel getting banned. Because Destiny's on a platform. I think the distinction is huge. I think, yes, we really do need to fucking enshrine freedom of speech on these platforms because it's essentially the town square. So I care more about Destiny getting demonetized than I care about fucking Jimmy Kimmel losing his job, which he has no right to. There's no First Amendment to Jimmy Kimmel having a late night show. He can go on his platforms right now and reach more people than he ever could on his stupid late night show that was getting no ratings, that sucked. But they have nothing. That's what it is. They have nothing. So they got to grasp onto something to rally their base. Like, oh, we're victims again, guys. This is what we're victims for. It's like, you have nothing. This is probably the worst fucking time period to be, on the left. And they got to rally. And this is all they have to rally for is Jimmy Kimmel's a martyr. It's sad. It really is sad.
That's like, to me, it reminds me of back in the day when you had to like rat people out because you believe that they.
What was there to talk about Tim Dillon, Jolly Green? I don't know. I haven't heard much. Maybe I missed something with Tim Dillon today.
Belong to a certain political party. I thought America was beyond that. I guess we're going back to that time now.
The time that you guys brought on. You guys are responsible for this. You guys are responsible for letting this cat out of the bag. And then you expect us, the ones who have been victimized by you expect us to feel bad. Again, if it was like real censorship, if it happened on a platform and it wasn't like, him calling for violence or something like that, I would be defending you. But this ABC can do what the fuck it wants, bro. ABC is not a platform, bro. I mean, ABC is supposed to sit there and be sued for $40 million so they can protect free. Like, what are you talking about? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. Gavin Newsom, see, they're trying to make it like they're free speech warriors now. They're the ones for free speech. Gavin Newsom buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. Now, there are problems. The GOP does seem to be willing to take over the mantle of censorship from the left. But again, are you surprised? Like, for me, am I going to be surprised when the left gets back into power and they start censoring us again? No, I'm not going to be surprised. You shouldn't have been surprised either. When you let that cat out of the bag, it was only a matter of time before that cat decided to eat you too. So take responsibility, but they won't. They won't. They're just going to play victims. They're just going to play victims. What's going on with Tim Dillon? Trying to find. I mean, I don't know what happened with Tim Dillon that I'm supposed to be talking about here, guys. Let me see. Let's get to the next one. This is a good take, Piers Morgan. Look, Piers Morgan used to annoy the fuck out of me. I'm liking Piers Morgan more and more now. Piers Morgan used to really annoy me with this fucking anti-Second Amendment shit. He was a really, really dumb, anti-gun. He had all the like the low IQ, childish gun takes, but. Lately, I've been like him. Well, as long as you don't talk about guns, I like Piers Morgan. So Piers Morgan says, Jimmy Kimmel lied about Charlie Kirk's assassin being MAGA. This caused understandable outrage all over America, prompted TV station owners to say they wouldn't air him. And now he's been suspended by his employers. Why is he being heralded as some kind of free speech martyr? Couldn't have said it better myself, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Tim lost his Riada show? Tim lost his Riada show? What show are we talking about, P-Money? Let me look this up. I mean, you guys are getting me on a side quest here with Tim. Let me see. See if I can find anything on that. Was it a Netflix show you're talking about or what? Tim Dillon criticized accepting money for performing at the Riota Comedy Festival, comparing it to John McEnroe refusing to play in apartheid South Africa. Update to this, Tim being so gleeful about the Saudis' human rights abuses has got him kicked off the festival. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I haven't been following this story. I've heard a little bit about it. So he was doing this, they're doing this huge comedy show in like Saudi Arabia or something. Him being so gleeful about the Saudis' human rights abuses has gotten him kicked off the festival. Kimmel, so I'm just reading this. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Kimmel should still be on air. It's wrong to pretend it's because the show sucked or because it was losing eyeballs and money. Both true. And clearly it was a politically motivated hit job. The joke was pretty mild, factually wrong, as in the guy who shot Charlie Kirk wasn't a MAGA guy. But who cares? That doesn't matter. Is this Tim saying this? Am I reading Tim's comment? Yeah, this is Tim's comment. Okay. It does matter, Tim. It does matter when you're trying to actually like combat extremism and calm down violence. It does matter which side is committing the violence, what side actually murdered Charlie Kirk. It does matter because it's been something we've all been saying was bound to happen. Okay, you can only fucking demonize a group of people for so long before something like this happens. Anyone who cares about the ability to speak freely for a living should be disturbed by this. But yeah, Tim, he's not on he's not on YouTube, Tim. He's on ABC. He's got no right to speak freely on ABC's network. He's got no right. They should also be disturbed by people celebrating the assassination of a political opponent. No matter what you thought of his views, it's pretty simple. Also, this morning I was fired from the Riota Comedy Festival because of statements I made on my podcast. I'll be keeping the sizable down payment and donating it to a foundation. Just kidding, I'm buying another car. Okay. So yeah. I haven't been following that, so I don't really, I don't know. But yeah, I disagree with, I think people are ignoring the fucking distinction here. That this guy worked for a network. He was on a network. He was on the network's air. This is not him on his own platform just representing himself. That's the distinction. It's like everybody's just, oh, that doesn't matter because Trump said some stuff. Okay. What else we got here? Oh yeah, here's Piers Morgan with Don Lemon. The wonderful, wonderful Don Lemon. We got a few clips from here, but yeah, Don was not happy.
You sound very bitter, Don.
Yeah, I think I got these out of order. Let me see here. 23.
This is what led to you.
Here we go.
Look at the clip.
So he plays a clip of why Don got, because I'm sure Don's going to make it like, the reason I was fired from CNN because of Trump, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, you pissed off your own side, Don. You pissed off all the angry women, bro. So don't piss off. If you work for a leftist liberal network, do not piss off the women, okay?
This is what led to you leaving CNN. Let's take a look at the clip.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
Dude, this is like the most base thing Don ever said, in my opinion. I have no problem with what Don said here, and he should not have been fired for this because he's 100% right. He's 100% right.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying I agree
I want this Don Lemon, dude. This is a Don Lemon I could listen to.
with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
When you watch that, Don, I happened to be watching that live, and I was like, whoa, what did you just say?
Oh, come on, Piers. It was base, bro. That is the least of the problems with Don Lemon.
If you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out,
When I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me.
Dude, that's old school, like lame ass shit. Like, oh, I need to know every topic we talk about, and this is off limits and that. Dude, modern podcasts, it's like, you barely do that. Sometimes you might just to be nice, but nobody ever says, oh, anything's off limits. But this guy's old school and he's like, oh, we have to talk about every topic we're going to talk about and approve it beforehand. And we didn't approve this topic. It's like, oh, stop being a little bitch, dude.
Me on many times and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in a panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
so,
you and I haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Because Brian, people complain when the super chats are always interrupting. But I'll play your super chat. I'm trying to do them in like segments, right? So like after this clip, then I'll play the super chats, but I'll play your super chat, Brian.
Burbshit super chatted $1.33. Lemon gives me a sour taste whenever I hear him.
Yeah, it triggers that, huh? Just triggers the you get the taste of the lemon.
Monkey 24 super chatted $2.
Thank you, bro.
Honeybee emoji. Honeybee emoji.
Thank you.
Brian Mahoney super chatted $20. The claim of
How you doing,
Kimmel
Brian?
lying about Robinson being MAGA is the same as someone accusing you of showing Rogan caling or flirting with his guests. In earnest.
They're two different things, bro. They're not the same. That's a reach, man. That's a reach. Thank you for the 20, though, brother. All right.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you.
Yeah.
I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right.
And I said the same thing to your bookers.
There's only one
and
of
so
you,
when
Don.
I asked you, and right, okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover?
Yeah.
Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed, but let me answer your question.
That's a weak comeback, bro. Just like actually defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with your comments. They were statistically factual. And be like, I stand by it. And, I hurt their feelings with facts and logic. Instead, it's like, oh, we agreed not to do this, Don. Yeah, come on.
Hang on 1 second. Oh, Don, hang on 1 second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it.
I agree that Don Lemon was canceled by cancel culture. It was the left cancel culture that fucking canceled Don Lemon. He was a victim of his own fucking shit. It wasn't the people on the right that were coming after Don to be canceled. It was the fucking uppity bitches on the left who get offended when you point out the fact that women are past their prime at 40. Actually, Don gave you said you were actually still in your prime in your 40s. I disagree. Some women are. Most women aren't. There's nothing wrong with that. That's life. We don't get to all be in our. I'm past my prime. Maybe, I don't know. I might. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I could still be in my prime. But, we don't get to all be in our prime forever, okay? That's the way it works, ladies.
Fine. Sorry. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous.
Don,
I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching this
what are you talking about?
And so if you will allow me, please
what
please
are you
stop
talking about?
Me, okay? Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me
I think you're being
a
complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or respectful.
I don't like the ad hominem attacks.
Dude, we got a couple more. Let me, here we go. I'm trying to get these in the right order. I think I got them in the right order.
If you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say that?
Okay, Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, could respond in kind.
You can say what you like about me. I don't care.
That I am completely disingenuous. I don't want
and you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it, fine. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous. I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching this
What are you talking about?
And so if you will allow me, please
What are you talking
about? Me, okay? Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me?
I think you're being a complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
That's where we left off.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind
or
respectful.
Common attacks. I could respond in kind.
You can say what you like about me. I don't care.
I think that I'm above that. I'm not going to do that, Piers. That's not who I am.
I don't understand why you're playing the victim card when you yourself mentioned cancel culture.
Because Piers.
That's all they do, Piers. That's all they do. But yeah, he did get canceled by cancel culture. The left's own cancel culture. It was the left who canceled Don Lemon. So let's not fucking change history here and pretend like the right was upset when people like me and everybody on the right was like, base, dude. Base. I like this version of Don Lemon.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
What are you going to do? Read out my team's messages to you?
Piers? It should be embarrassing. Yeah, I can read out the team messages to you because I just think it's completely unfair, and you know that. I'm prepared to answer your question, and then I'm going to move on. I told you I'm prepared to talk about Charlie Kirk's death, the response to it, and cancel culture, and freedom of the press, and freedom of speech.
You were prepared to talk about cancel culture, or you weren't?
No, I'm not prepared.
Oh, you're not prepared to talk about cancel culture.
You're not prepared. What do you mean? What do you need to be prepared? What do you need? I mean. Dude, Piers, you could have me on. I'm prepared to talk about any fucking subject, Piers, at any time. Okay? All I need is my brain that sits below my skull, behind my eyes. All I need is my brain, bro. This is weird. This is some pussy shit.
Culture, but that has. Oh my God, Piers, could you stop interrupting me?
No, really, you're kind of exhausting me. It's ridiculous. Why would you react this way to a perfectly normal? Obviously, if you mention cancel culture, obviously it's rational and logical that I would ask you whether you felt what happened to you at CNN was that. I play the clip and then you throw a hissy fit.
I've given you a moment. Enough. I've given you your moment.
I don't want a moment. It's going to go viral. Yeah, see, Don is somebody who I bet you would never survive if he had to actually build his career on the internet the way a lot of podcasters do. Because you actually have to have your own opinions and speak out of your mind. You got to freeball it. You don't have writers feeding you lines on the fucking teleprompter telling you what to say. Because Don is completely incapable without his fucking teleprompters telling him what to say. And you saw it when he first went independent and he did his interview with Elon Musk on X. It was a fucking disaster. That guy needs his teleprompter. He needs his writers. Otherwise, he don't know what the fuck to say.
So please,
I don't want
enough. Yes, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do this. Otherwise, you would be a respectful journalist and host, and you would let me talk. I don't think you'll take lectures on being a respectful journalist because you want a moment. Oh my gosh, Piers!
I won't.
I can't even hear because there's a delay, and you keep talking. And
it's so difficult. It's so hard.
And what do you want me to do? Rip the earpiece out in the mic and run off so you have a moment?
No, I don't care.
Are you
do
going to let
whatever
me answer
you like.
the question? Are you just going to keep pillaring me with questions?
I don't know why you've gone on this
and
weird rant. I don't understand any of it. Why have you done this weird reaction? I simply asked you about whether you felt your departure from CNN was, in your eyes, an example of cancel culture. I played the clip,
Piers,
and I then said, when you watch it back, do you really understand what you were saying?
This is why I don't do this, but you're embarrassing yourself, Piers.
Actually, you might be embarrassing yourself, Don.
Oh my God. Okay.
Dude, these are two of the cattiest fucking bitches you've ever seen. Don, you got nothing on Piers, dude. Don, you think you're a catty bitch? Piers is the cattiest bitch. And he can actually speak without fucking a teleprompter telling him what to say. That's the advantage he has. It's unfair. It's unfair to take this man who cannot speak without a teleprompter and expect him to have a free-form conversation where new questions might pop up and new ideas might be debated. No. I didn't have time to get my writers to write out what I have to say. So please, no, this is terrible. It's so fucking sad, dude. It's so sad. Wait, it's not over. I think we got another clip. We got another one.
Piers, are you kidding me?
No.
Bitter. I'm the happiest go lucky person ever. I'm just exposing your.
You sound very bitter, Dom.
Piers, are you kidding me?
No.
Bitter. I'm the happiest go lucky person ever. I'm just exposing your hypocrisy and how you lied to me about what you wanted to discuss.
I don't believe you, Don. I'm the happiest I'm so happy. Don, you're a miserable person. Your fake smile and bullshit demeanor to portray your happiness, I see through it, Don. You're a miserable person.
I've never talked to you about this interview at all.
You don't have conversations with your producers? So your producers lied to me, or you're not that involved?
You've admitted one of the subjects we wanted to talk to you about.
You're not that involved in the editorial process of your own show, where they don't convey to you
by your own admission
what you are. What the guest is going to talk about on the program.
You obviously expected
not that involved in the editorial process of your own show that you don't know that.
You've already admitted that one of the subjects was free speech, and yet here you are getting enraged about me exercising my right to free speech to ask you a few questions.
Piers, I'm not enraged. I'm not enraged at all.
Yeah, I'm not enraged. You look enraged.
I think this is kind of funny. I'm not enraged at all. I mean, it's kind of exactly what I thought, like, hey, I don't want to go on the Piers Morgan show because of the spectacle of it all. And so that's confirmation of that. But I'm glad you got this moment. This is a moment for me as well that's going to play out on social media. It's going to be good for me, too. So
that is the sad part. Like, just the getting in front of more eyeballs will be good for him. You would think, like, when you're this terrible and you sound this stupid, it would be bad for your career. But no, because as long as Trump bad is your message, people will follow.
So go for it.
Didn't go well for Don. Didn't go well. I mean, Don just keeps embarrassing himself at every fucking turn. Every turn, man. What does this look like? A screaming match? Rashida Tlaib starts screaming at the top of her lungs. What happens here?
Rights. We can't be passive right now. So nobody over there should take anything we say serious, like.
Let me catch up on the super chats. Thank you, Brian.
Brian Mahoney super chatted $5. All good, no need. Just didn't want to be shadow banned.
Oh, you're not.
Thanks, Ping.
You're not shadow banned, bro. Yeah, it's just if I let it just come in real time, I will at some points let all the super chats come in real time, but then, people complain because it ruins the flow of the show. So I try to do it like in blocks. Thanks for the super chats, brother. By the way, smash the thumbs up. Almost at 100. Thank you guys for showing up. Love it. If you want to become a member, in the description, you can find the link to become a member or support on Patreon. And if you want me to react to your message, you can send a super chat. But let's get the thumbs ups going. Let's see if we can get to 100. Thanks, guys.
So personally, as if we're attacking them. No, we're attacking a process. We're not attacking people here. And I think it's really important. We need to stand up against this fascist takeover. That's not a bad word. It's a fact. And here in D.C. and across the country,
they're doubling down, tripling down.
It is so incredibly important, Mr. Chair, that this committee does not allow rhetoric that defames and or paints Washington, D.C. in a way that you all haven't really truly seen. You're just reading it. No, you're just reading it or something off of some.
Will the gentlelady yield to a question?
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Will the gentlelady yield?
No, I don't yield. I don't even have time.
So we don't use rhetoric. What? But you can use rhetoric calling the entire side that you're fascist. The side that after somebody just got politically assassinated, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop calling us Nazis and fascists. It's very clear. They're not going to learn the lesson. Because it doesn't seem like they care whether we get murdered or not. Doesn't seem like they do.
I can tell you.
Your time's expired.
It is expired, but Mr. Chair, but you all live here, and you're not telling people the beautiful parts that you do see in our nation's capital. And no, it's just wrong how we're doing it.
Chairman, I think it's insane if the gentlelady doesn't have an argument, but she's going to refer to me and some of my colleagues. We were from the Third Reich. This is insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Tlaib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting
Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
No, that's
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. But to say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay. But it's okay, right?
Oh, this is fucking music to my ears, man. I'm fucking loving this, dude. No more fucking taking bullshit from dumb bitches like this. Seriously. I love this. Let's see if we can see this guy talking.
Not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk
Is that
about
Byron
myself
Donald?
accountable.
Is that Byron Donald? I forget his name.
Hold your own self accountable. How about that? Hold your own self accountable. How about that?
Free DC and make sure you vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody else. Rights.
Oh man. Oh yeah. We're gonna. Things are gonna get better in this country, guys. Don't worry. Things will calm down. Guys. It's not gonna just keep getting worse and more divisive, and then. I don't know. I'm worried about the future of this country. It's been interesting watching the Nick Fuentes fallout. I've been pulling some clips up of Nick lately, and he sure is sounding a lot like me. It's kind of weird how all of a sudden Nick's like saying the things that I was saying, like low IQ anti-Semitism. He's literally, I think he's created a fucking situation where it's like, I told you, man, like that crowd, everything is the Jews. And the moment it's not the Jews and you're like, oh, it's not the Jews, they fucking turn on you. And they're turning on Nick right now. And I could have told you this was going to happen. But yeah, I got to give Nick credit because, I mean, to come out every time something happens, to come out, oh, it's the Jews. Like at a certain point, you're going to lose credibility if you do that. And maybe now that he realizes he's not like, because I think a little bit of what happened to Nick is he got audience captured. You know, he got stuck on like these platforms where it's just everybody that's been banned off of all the major platforms and they just want to hear about the Jews and you want to get super chats, so you play up to what they want to hear. But now that he's reaching kind of more of a wide stream audience, now he might be like, let me try to actually sound reasonable and not fucking insane. So because he's refusing to blame Israel for the death of Charlie Kirk, let's just say he's now being accused of being an Israel shill. Nick Fuentes himself is now just an Israeli shill, according to his own followers, or a lot of his own followers. I'm sure it's not all of them. But yeah, he's sounding a lot like me lately. Weird.
So we'll talk about that series of developments. There's been a lot of pushback. Not a ton, but there's been some significant pushback on the right. People are saying that this is right-wing cancel culture.
He's talking about Kimmel here.
They're saying, how are we any better than the left? They're saying, isn't that hypocritical? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And I don't even think we need to argue about it at all, actually. The time for arguments is over. It's been over. You want to see the last guy that was arguing with the left? Well, you can attend his funeral on Sunday. He got shot for arguing. So I'm good. We tried debating. We tried arguing. We tried running for office. We tried governing. And what happened? Well, let's see. Trump got shot in the head, and then Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck and died. And now our own side wants to argue about the principle of the matter. They want to argue about consistency, hypocrisy. We are in a war. This is a war. This is a fight. All this talk about fairness, principles, objectivity does not apply here. It does not apply because we are fighting against an enemy that wants us dead, that wants us bankrupted, ostracized. Look at what they have done to everybody that opposes the system. Lawfare, persecution, death threats, murder attempts. This is what they do. What did they do? To the president, to Charlie Kirk, to me? I have people texting me, you shouldn't support censorship, then they'll take away our rights. My rights already got taken away. I can't process credit cards. I can't have a bank account.
I've seen it happen. Like a lot of these guys, I remember Milo and fucking Laura Loomer. When people get censored, they tend to go the opposite direction where they're like, actually, I think we need more people to be censored so people understand the problem this is. I remember Laura Loomer crying about it. Like, I want to see everybody on the right get censored. So you understand how big of a problem this is because, they get censored and then they don't see like really anybody pushing back. It's like life goes on, like I'm fucked and just life goes on. They tend to want other people to be censored. Like, so it's weird. Like the more censorship, the more people actually want censorship for revenge for their own censorship. And the thinking is like, if more people are censored, then we'll get more people behind doing something about the censorship. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. At this point, I don't think we really have free speech. I mean, you have free speech in your bedroom. You have free speech at the park when you meet up with your friends. But where most human communication happens on platforms on the internet, we do not have freedom of speech. And that is thanks to the left and the leftists that run these platforms who brought about this censorship regime in response to Trump. I'm against it. I'm willing to have conversations about how we fix this. Do we make them into utilities? Do we fucking, break them up into a bunch of little companies and make them compete? I mean, definitely we should probably spin off the ad side of Google. There was an argument made, I forgot who made it, but if you spin off the ad side of Google and allow that to be an independent company, then like the fucking amazing service that Google offers to advertisers, that service can be offered to any company on the internet. So like everybody can benefit. Like that's one way, or do we just really go hard on distinguishing between a platform and a publisher? Like, hey, you want to be a platform? Great. You will have no risk of being sued for what the users do on your platform, but you also have a finite set of rules for how that you can behave. You can't just get rid of somebody because you don't like their opinion. You can't manipulate your algorithms to push one voice over another. It's very little slim caveat there for the things that you could moderate. I'm open to all that, but the reality is they don't really want to fix freedom of speech. They just want them to be able to speak and they want us to be censored. That's what they want. So how can we come to some sort of, some sort of common ground with people like that? I would like to try, but I don't see it happening. I wish it would. I really wish it would, because I'd love to see the algorithms be fucking transparent. I'd love to see regulations around the algorithms. I'd love to see people have protections for their speech on the internet up to a point of like promoting or calling for violence. Obviously porn. I think, there are, like I said, caveats to what the fucking platforms can do. Like they can moderate up to a certain point. But I don't know. Go try having a discussion about this shit with somebody on the left and see how far you get. Go try. They'll start sounding like the most right-wing fucking person you've ever talked to. They'll be like, oh, but it's a private company and you can't dictate to it. It's like, Jesus Christ, are you on the left or are you like a far-right fucking complete free capitalism, don't even believe in antitrust? And it's like, because that's what you sound like all of a sudden. So yeah, good luck. Good luck figuring it out with them, man. Good luck. So yeah, I agree with Nick here. I do. I think we should be like, okay, you don't like censorship? All right, well, I mean, if I was in the government and I could fucking come up with legislation and, I'd be like, hey, let's sit down and like, yeah, this sucks. Let's find a way to honor our founding fathers and promote freedom of speech in this country. But it'll never happen. It will never happen. Here's Nick talking about the conspiratard schizo. Yeah, this is him talking about the Israel killed Charlie Kirk.
Time to wake up, guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say, the conspiratard schizo thing, it's getting a little out of control. And that's coming from me. I mean, it's like we are truly through the looking glass. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, people blame Israel. I, who fought Charlie Kirk because he was pro-Israel, am being said to, I'm being said to be covering up that he was killed for this miraculous conversion. If Ben Shapiro was taken out next, and God forbid, Would Israel be behind that too? I mean, that would be equally ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you they would be. They would be. If they'd be, oh, well, Ben Shapiro was about to flip. He was about to flip. They had to stop it. I mean, that's a good point. I agree with Nick, but I do think Nick is a little upset. I think Nick is a little jealous. I don't know. He's like, what do you mean? I've been the fucking Jews guy. Now you're going to say Charlie Kirk was the Jews guy when we know he wasn't the Jews guy? I was the Jews guy. But he's right here. He's right. It's good. This is a good take.
If it was Ben Shapiro on Wednesday, people would be saying, Israel did it. Shapiro was about to become a National Socialist. Like, what? It's crazy.
It's crazy the timeline we're on all of a sudden. I predicted this, though. I said they're going to turn on Nick. They're going to eat him alive. You can't please that crowd. Like, you have to just go complete fucking crazy. Everything's the Jews. Behind every fucking stone is a Jew doing something. And it's like, if you try to be reasonable, it's like that crowd will eventually eat you alive. So yeah, my prayers for Nick. Let's see what he says.
Blink if Mossad is holding you hostage.
Did Nick get a call from Assad?
I love that, by the way. I love when I don't immediately come out and blame Israel and people's first thing is like, first of all, I know it's real, but I'm not saying it. Right? Like if I don't come out the day of and say Israel did it with no evidence, it's not that I don't believe that. It's not that that's not happening. It's that, no, I'm definitely know it, but I'm just withholding it for some reason. People say, no, Nick knows.
They think he's a Fed now. It's still possible that Nick's a Fed, but I think if Nick was a Fed, I think he would be pushing that Israel did this. So I don't know. This makes me think maybe a little less that Nick might not be a Fed. Or maybe he worked with the Feds and now he's cut loose and he's doing his own thing. But yeah, a lot of his chat thinks he's a Fed now. They think he's an Israel fucking Mossad agent. Oh, it's funny.
But he just can't say it because he's afraid. He got the call. He's avoiding it. Oh, I'm disappointed. It's like, miss me with all that. If that's you, just get away from me. I've had it with the low IQ conspiracy stuff. I put 90% of you on to the conspiracies. I put you on. And now, people with their heuristic thinking, like high-level political crisis, Israel at fault. Like that's their thinking. Rather than a mental model where you say Israel influences our society. There are billionaires. They have this intelligence operation. They will capitalize or generate events for discrete interests. Rather than like that being the mental model, your mental model is something bad happened, it was Israel. That's the syllogism. 9/11 was bad and Israel was behind it. Therefore, all bad things that happened, Israel are behind them or are presumed to be behind them. And I used to think that was just like a straw man that Jews made, but clearly that's how a lot of people think. They can't handle it. Now, everything that happens is a Palantir MK Ultra limited hangout by Mossad. Half of you didn't even know about any of that until 3 days ago. And now it's like, oh, Trump is going to war with Venezuela. Is this about MK Ultra and Palantir and it's a limited hangout? It's like, no, not everything is that.
It does get annoying, bro. It's like, look, there's money to be made in seeing a conspiracy and everything. And the reason why there's money to be made in seeing a conspiracy and everything is because people fucking love it, dude. They love to sit there and go, ooh, this is what really happened. There's people over there watching Charlie Kirk get murdered over and over again. Just like each pixel. Oh, let me look at this pixel 100 times because this moved in a weird way. And oh, maybe actually the bullet hit him from this side. And it's like, dude, you're going to lose your fucking mind watching that. That's like a disgusting fucking clip. And you're going to sit there zooming it in 10,000% and fucking slowing it down and watching fucking each frame by frame go by over and over all night in your fucking bedroom with the lights out. And it's like, dude, you've lost your fucking mind. Okay. That being said, I mean, there might be some conspiracies tied to it. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's the problem. This is why nobody believes anything, because we can't trust what the government says. So it's like immediately everybody defaults to the government's lying. Let me find out the real truth. It's like maybe the government isn't lying every single time. You know, it's not like sometimes things just happen that the government didn't anticipate, and then it's just they're reacting to it like us and doing investigate like that. That's never the case. The government knows everything. Everything's planned. Everything's fake. Everything's a fucking psyop. And it's like, dude, you've kind of lost your mind. You've kind of lost your mind. Settle down.
But that's because probably 70% of the population is not even capable of critical thinking. So it's sort of like, do you ever see that movie Silence with Liam Neeson? It's a Martin Scorsese movie, and it's about Catholic missionaries bringing Christianity to Japan. And there's this young Christian priest, and he thinks that he's bringing the Japanese to Christ, but the Japanese government's punishing him and killing him or his followers. And in the end, he meets up with Liam Neeson, who surrendered to the government a long time ago. And he says, these people don't even understand. When you're talking to them about the Son of God, they think you're talking about the literal Son, like you're not breaking through to them. And it's like, that's how I feel. It's like, I think I have adherents and acolytes. They get it. They understand. And then something like this happens and they're like, Israel did it, obviously. And if you disagree, you got the call. It's like, okay, or why would they kill their top guy? Like, did anyone stop and think that Charlie Kirk was arguably up until a few months ago their top guy?
Yeah, like Kirk did what most people in MAGA did. When it came to Iran, like, no regime change. No. I think he went a little further than I did, where he was okay with the strikes, where I was like, no, we should have not been involved at all. So yeah, like, okay, they killed him because he was not for regime change, and then he might have, according to some people, like been completely finished with Netanyahu, and he was like, Netanyahu's terrible, and it's. But yet, the day before, everybody would have been like, Charlie Kirk is the biggest Israel shill. And then he dies, and all of a sudden he was turned. Man, people just, they want a certain reality to be true. And no matter what happens, they see things in the lens of that reality that they want to be true. The left wanted it to be a right-wing white supremacist. So no matter what information was presented, they're still saying it's a right-wing white supremacist raised by a Christian family. Because that's the lens that they want. They're seeing it through the lens that they want to be true. And then, obviously, the Jewish obsessed crowd, they want everything to be the Jews. And it's like, oh, of course, it's the Jews. You know, for me, I used my common sense and went with my gut. And my gut, fortunately, this is going to sound a little stupid, but I'm pretty good at getting rid of my own fucking bias. I know people that think I'm a shill and I'm just a right wing. Like, they're not going to believe that. But I actually am really good at getting rid of my bias and seeing things, in a way where it's like down the middle. Okay. And when I looked at this, it was pretty obvious to me this was going to be somebody on the left. And I could have been wrong. Turns out I was right. Did I want it to be somebody on the left? No, I didn't want it to be somebody on the left. I didn't give a shit. But like, all the fucking facts are right in front of your face, dude. Like, my gut was like, yeah. And then you got the left celebrating it. It's like, oh, so one side is actually happy he fucking dead? Maybe it's the side that's out there celebrating that he's dead that is also responsible for it. I don't know, Boy, that's a hard one to put together, right?
Is there even room for skepticism that they would kill someone that was so steadfastly supporting them? In other words, if you don't automatically assume that they killed him, even though it's sort of far-fetched on its face, oh, well, that's because you're like a bad faith actor. Like, that's the part that I really hate. And I saw a lot of that. I saw people saying I was avoiding the topic. I'm not mentioning it because I'm afraid to. I believe it's true, but I'm being strategic about it. And to tell you the truth, we didn't have any information until a few days ago. The guy turned himself in on Thursday.
Yeah. That's another point. Somebody said it would have been Tucker or something like that. Yeah, like they killed the most pro-Israel voice on the right. Well, not the most, but one of the biggest pro-Israel voices on the right. How does that make sense? Now you have a vacuum that's going to be filled with the Tucker Carlsons and the fucking like, that would have been the stupidest fucking thing Israel could have ever done. But it doesn't matter. If anything bad happens, it's always Israel, according to some people. And it gets schizophrenic at a certain point.
We had some oblique insinuations that Israel and Charlie Kirk had some tension. There were rumors. There's this piece in the Gray Zone with anonymous sources. And so I kind of put the pieces together over the weekend, and I put together a picture for you that is really circumstantial. There's not really a concrete connection. There is no real link there. There's just some circumstantial evidence of things that coincided with this. And yeah, you can create a motive if you're committed to it, but it's by no means cut and dry or unambiguous. I don't really see a smoking gun here. There's some things that are conspicuous. Certainly you could see where, they were upset with Charlie, but, people jumping to conclusions. Oh, it's them. And anyone that doesn't say it's them, they're lying. Like, okay.
I'm going to have to use some Groyper language here and say W Nick. W Nick. He's actually attempting to use his brain and logic and not just jump to what his crowd wants him to say. So I'll give him credit there. Jackson Hinkle. So him and Jackson Hinkle have been fucking battling it out. I've actually met Jackson Hinkle. I had a dinner with him. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was at the time, but when I went to do that little documentary with Alex Stein, he was part of the that debate. I forget what the name of the debate show is, but it's a little fucking YouTube channel where they put on debates and shit. And he was part of one of the debates. And we went to dinner. He went with us. Nice guy. I had a great time, great conversation with him. Enjoyed his company. Nice guy, good looking guy, sharp as fuck, looked like $1 million. And then I found out he's like a communist and shit. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like, yeah, what are you talking about? A MAGA communist? What's going on here? What the fuck? But yeah, personally, I liked him. Good guy. I disagree with a lot of what he says though. But yeah, good guy. Enjoyed having dinner with him.
Fuentes is now attacking me as I expose the dozens of Israeli connections to the tragedy involving Charlie Kirk. But at the same time, Nick is saying there are no connections to the tragedy at Utah Valley University. And I'm not surprised, because when did Nick attack Tucker Carlson? When Tucker went mainstream talking about Israel. I know people like to point out the fact that Tucker said, oh, well, Nick is just some kid living in his mom's basement. But about a week prior to that, Nick was insinuating that Tucker Carlson was either a domestic or foreign spy, an intelligence asset of some kind. And when did Nick attack Candace Owens? When Candace went mainstream talking about Israel. And when did Nick attack Dave Smith? When Dave Smith got untold levels of popularity as he...
There does seem to be some reality to this. Like, Nick gets jealous if anybody starts becoming the Israel guy and it's not him. I think there's some truth to this.
He was questioning Israel publicly. What about when Nick attacks Joe Kent, a congressman that we could have had who would have been actually fighting the permanent war state and the Zionist war in Syria, when Joe Kent got close to actually winning his election campaign for Congress? When did Nick attack Yahya Sinwar, the day that he was murdered by the state of Israel? And when was the most recent time that Nick attacked me? When I traveled all the way to Yemen, one of the poorest countries on the planet, who was fighting the Zionist entity and who at the time was being bombed by the United States. I went to break the media blockade on the people in the country of Yemen. And what does Nick do? He tweets out something saying it would be the funniest thing ever if Trump airstriked me. One might say I'm noticing a pattern here, and I wonder what Nick's true intentions are.
So does he think he's a Fed as well? That's what it sounds like. I don't know, man. There's look, my spidey senses go off with Nick where it's like, he could be a Fed. But then I don't know. I think I've probably calmed down a little bit to where I'm like, yeah, he could still be a Fed, but he could also just be a useful idiot. It's very possible, but let's just say I wouldn't trust him with any of my secrets. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, Jackson Hinkle, Nick Fuentes, war is going to take place. Again, very nice guy. I hate communism. I disagree with a lot of his takes. But yeah, you can enjoy a nice dinner with Jackson. He's a sweetheart. So Alex Jones gets into fucking some more Destiny shit. Again, remember Destiny's YouTube channel got demonetized today. Sorry to hear that, Destiny. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Look, if advertisers don't want to advertise, I get that. But you don't have to take away his super chats. They even took away his super chats. You don't got to do that. Like, that's just between him and his audience. He's also worried now that he might get banned.
I feel like my YouTube is going to get permaban soon.
I don't know, man. I'm more upset about this than I am about Jimmy Kimmel, to be honest. Because YouTube, to me, is the distinction. It's a platform. It's a platform that serves to be a place for humans to communicate. Okay, demonetizing is one thing. I probably don't agree with that completely. I think, if it's real that advertisers don't want to be involved, okay, I get that. But then, super chats, still pay him the money. He's old, like that. That's a little slippery slope I don't agree with a lot of times. Banning him completely, don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. And you know how I feel about Destiny. So don't tell me I don't stand up for free speech because I don't stand up for Jimmy Kimmel when a fucking network decides they don't want him on their network anymore. It's not the same fucking thing.
Because I got broad demonetized yesterday for that I didn't even cite a video. So I don't know. I'll appeal it. We'll see what happens. But I mean, if Kimmel is getting canceled from ABC, I don't know.
Well, it's not canceling. The networks can get rid of whoever they want. Dumbass. Yeah, he seems depressed, man. I mean, did he not take his Adderall today? This might not be the right time to quit doing Adderall at Destiny. Might not be the right time. Let's hear Alex talk about him some more.
I've been around this Destiny character at least 3 times in studio, comedy clubs and stuff that we were both.
See, I didn't know he had a history with Destiny. He does have a history with Destiny.
Speakers at. And he's a dangerous person. He's a megalomaniac. He is a schizoid in my view.
Wow.
He behaves like somebody that could star in a movie as a serial killer.
This is true.
And there are so many clips of him celebrating violence, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, saying we need more people to be killed so that conservatives and populists and Christians are scared. That's the definition of terrorism.
I mean, that's the part where it's like, yeah, I got to almost remember like the shit he did. So like, I do understand YouTube getting rid of him. Like he almost gave YouTube no choice. It's almost like he wanted to be banned from YouTube when you're saying that type of shit. But damn, I don't know. I think if that's the case, then we need to bring charges on him. If he is glorifying violence, if what he's doing is considered a call to violence, then maybe charges need to be brought on Destiny. Because then I'd be like, hey, if he did break speech laws and he's calling for violence and that technically qualifies, then yeah, YouTube, at that point, I have no problem with YouTube getting rid of him.
He went on Piers Morgan and doubled down yesterday. And then he talks about people that doxed him years ago. And how he plotted their murder and their family's murder. This individual needs to be investigated.
That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it.
Did that guy dox him or was that guy just DDoSing him? I think that guy was DDoSing his show so that, like if you don't like somebody's show, you can, do those DDoS attacks and basically destroy their internet to where they can't stream. I think that's what it was. I don't think it was a doxing, but I don't know.
Dude, that was some of the most up shit in my entire life. I was so close to doing it, but I was making so much money on Twitch I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of... Oh my God.
So if you didn't make a lot of money and you didn't have a good life as a low-key celebrity, then yeah, you'd go around murdering people, basically, is what he's saying.
Oh my God.
By the way, I disavow all of this. Also, the problem with when YouTube starts hitting people like this is they'll start hitting me as well. They'll be like, well, you just played a video of this guy and this is a ban circumvention. And it's like, what do you mean I can't react to like shit that's going on in the public sphere? So yeah, I disavow everything Destiny is saying. I disavow violence 100%. I want to make that clear to YouTube. It's not a joke. I 100% disavow it. And I disavow Destiny 1,000,000%.
God, I was so close to this address. I had streets mapped out and you had no idea. That's when I first started getting an interest in like owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything. Holy
Oh, could you imagine watching Nunez's eyes pop out of his
head, nothing would make me happier. Oh my God, I would jerk off. So I would I would never need to browse porn again if I had a live video feed of Nunes being killed for crimes against his country.
Dude, that is some Jeffrey Dahmer fucking Ted Bundy shit right there. Now, this is a new one. I mean, people just keep finding more and more clips of him sounding like a fucking psychopath. This one might be one of the few that lets you into how his brain is. If he's somebody that can get off on violence and murder, he's got the serial killer gene running through his veins, man. He's got that serial killer blood.
Oh my God, it would be the most arousing thing I could ever imagine seeing in my entire life. I'm squeezing my hog to this. That worthless, subhuman piece of shit deserves to die.
Now, people will say, well, this was his edgy days when he was just trying to be as edgy as possible and say the most outrageous thing. Okay. That makes it okay? Because he was just trying to be edgy and say I don't think that's a good excuse. You know, and if that's what you got to do to entertain your audience is to talk about how you would fucking beat it to somebody dying, maybe you need to, you know, do a better job of coming up with an entertaining show and not need to pretend to get off sexually over the murder of another human being.
Conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside in...
See, I mean, how am I supposed to feel bad when you guys let this cat out of the bag? And you hope that everybody has a short memory. I don't. I have a very good memory. And I'm not going to forget that you are the guys that let censorship out of the bag. You used it as a tool against your political enemies. And now that your political enemies are the ones that have control of that tool, you're fucked. Stupid thinking. Stupid short-term thinking, which is getting us in trouble. This country is losing the ability to think long-term. It's all short-term gratification, man. And it's getting fucking out of control.
Only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term.
I'll give you one last...
This whole thing that he talks about where he's like, I'm not going to condemn violence until Trump comes out and condemns... Trump literally came out and told his side to be nonviolent. In that same little presser that Jimmy Kimmel took a small little clip out of, they said, well, what would you tell your followers? And he said, well, I'd hope they'd be nonviolent. We have to be nonviolent. So yeah, he did. He condemned it. He told his people to be nonviolent. So this whole fucking narrative from Destiny that like, oh, Trump's got it's such a bullshit fucking thing to just like deflect from himself.
Last chance, Destiny, to condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yes, you are acting like a non-human.
Why can't I hear Donald Trump
condemn
violence in this country?
All right, you won't condemn it. Okay, we've all heard.
That's insane.
We've all heard you repeatedly refuse.
I'm going to find the clip just so you guys can see. Like, Trump literally said for people to be nonviolent on his own side. He came out and said it.
And we've heard Donald Trump refuse to condemn it too. But for some reason, the leftists on YouTube are a bigger deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah. What's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd rather taunt his widow.
This going. Do you agree with me? This is a massive moment with the left celebrating it at levels never before seen. That has probably, if they held the midterms right now, the Republicans would gain 50 seats in the House. I mean, this is devastating them, but
I think so too, man. I think this is something that's going to really flip people election-wise when it comes to right versus left. Here he is. I want to play this. This is Trump condemning the violence.
Really concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. Yeah.
Mr. President, how do you want to see your supporters respond to this? Charlie Kirk.
Yes. How do you want to see your supporters respond to this?
Was a big advocate of nonviolence and free speech on campus. How do you want your supporters to respond to it?
I think that way. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond.
What more do you want, Destiny? What more do you want? So again, it sounds like Destiny saying, if you don't want to get killed, don't vote for people we don't like. It's essentially what he's saying. We'll get back to the Alex clip, but I just wanted to play that just because it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Destiny?
They're the ones pushing violence. They're the ones calling for it. They're the ones celebrating. Regardless of what you think really happened here, they owned it. Out in the streets, everywhere. Thousands of teachers are now in trouble. Hundreds have been fired. Hundreds of lawyers, hundreds of doctors, fire chiefs, police chiefs, students, politicians, members of Congress, podcasters. I mean, I can't keep track of the just fountain, the fire hose of celebration.
And that's the one thing the left doesn't want to acknowledge either. I think it was a CNN clip, and they're like, oh, these are just randoms on the internet. It's like, well, who fucking shot Charlie Kirk? A fucking random. This is a sign of where your side is and what the people that populate your side, how they feel and how they've gotten to a point where they're okay with political assassinations. That's the most shocking thing of all this. It's not, believe it or not, it's not the political assassination. That's not the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing is so many of these people on the left celebrating the political assassination. That's the most shocking and the most scary thing, and the most, the thing that causes me the most fucking fear for the future of where this country is heading.
In fact, I may do like a special podcast in the next couple evenings and just do commercial free for like 5 hours and play like 400 clips. I mean, I can't keep track of it. It's
the same thing I said. I could have done. I did like three something hours, and like the clips were just so many. I could have done another 8 hours. It probably could have gone on 24 hours. I could have just been sitting there because there's still more clips coming. It hasn't stopped, right? So if you count the clips, even I could probably 24 hours just watching clips of the left celebrating, calling for more violence, saying who's next. That's the reality, dude. We live in a country where people are going to celebrate if you're murdered just because you have the wrong political opinion.
It is mind-blowing. And then when people go, hey, you said you're glad he's dead and we need to kill more Republicans so that they'll have a chilling effect and be scared. Yeah, I agree with that. Destiny went on Piers Morgan and doubled down. Says, I'm going to masturbate when more Republicans are killed. He says he went and stalked people's houses that criticized him and was going to kill them and their family. It's psychotic. Demented. And he's been in here before. I debated him, and I also was at another event with him at the Vulcan Gas Company where Rogan used to do his shows for him in the mothership, and he was just like, he saw me, I was like, whoa. He's like, and then his wife comes over and goes, I'm Destiny's wife. And so I'm like, I guess they had this thing where they swung, and I was like, she was.
Dude, he almost got cucked to Alex. Oh man. Destiny's ex-wife. She's a looker, but yeah, she might have been passed around too many times. But I'm not gonna pretend she's not good looking. Alex, good on you, Alex. Good on you for not falling into the Coom Gremlins trap.
Coming on to me, I was like, okay, lady, it's nice. Gross. But she wasn't bad looking, but I mean, I'm married, plus you have sex with a really disgusting person. I mean,
True. That makes it hard. Like Lauren Southern, I used to be like, Lauren Southern's a good looking woman, man. I like her. And then I found out that she's been with Destiny, and I'm like, oh, I can't even look at her the same anymore. Her whole career is over because those texts with her and Destiny came out. You can't take her seriously anymore.
And I didn't tell her that. But, I'm not, I guess my wife was there too, and they thought she was pretty hot. But the point is these are lunatics.
So Alex basically had the chance to swing with Destiny. It sounds like what he's saying. Oh my God. If you could be a fly on a wall, dude. Oh shit. I'm glad Alex turned that down. And I don't think his wife Erica would have been okay with that. I know, it's just funny, man. The pictures in my head.
Absolute demented lunatics. And when I go in these court cases against these Democrat lawyers, they all go and act the same. I mean, they are gremlin creatures. So you cannot deny we've seen the biggest celebration ever from the left. I mean, professional basketball players, music stars, pop singers. It's insane. I've been around this.
Oh, I didn't even think of it. Dark Maida, I forgot he's bi. So maybe Destiny would have been like, let me suck your D, Alex Jones. Maybe Destiny wanted a little Alex. You want a little. Oh man, that wouldn't surprise me. You know, Destiny's a weird guy, so he probably did want to give a little schlobble nobble to old Alex here.
This Destiny character at least 3 times in studio, comedy clubs and stuff that we were both speakers at, and he's a dangerous person. He's a megalomaniac. He is a schizoid in my view. He behaves like somebody that could star in a movie as a serial killer. And there are so many clips of him celebrating violence, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, saying we need more people to be killed so that conservatives and populists and Christians are scared. That's the definition of terrorism. He went on Piers Morgan and doubled down yesterday. And then he talks about people that doxed him years ago and how he plotted their murder and their family's murder. This individual needs to be investigated.
Yeah, because look, this is where, free speech crosses that line to illegal speech. When you're promoting violence, when you're fucking calling for violence. And I don't know, to me, the things he said, some of it can be interpreted as calls to violence. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man.
And
he also might go to jail for the kitty stuff, the fucking the sex pest stuff. Remember, he sent that dude Willie Mack. He sent that dude evidence that he had adult material of somebody over 18. He might go to. I mean, shit. I don't know. Destiny might. He might really get locked up. There's always people like clickbaiting, like, oh, this Hassan's gonna get locked up, and this guy's gonna get locked up. Destiny might actually get locked up. It might happen.
And he needs to be recognized as the archetype of what the satanic left is. They are cowardly, they are weak, and they love evil, they love intimidation, they love menacing people. And he's a clear and present danger. And he goes, what he believes.
Dude, like, in this interview is the most I've ever seen his jaw fucking shake, dude. Like, somebody said he does, like, Adderall, but then he also drinks Red Bull. I mean, that jaw is like, it's going to fly off his fucking face, dude.
Right up to the line in the left's right to rule us. So when you hear him, he is telling you what the average leftist believes, what the average leftist stands for.
I agree.
And he's a disgrace.
They're going to say he's like some far left guy. He's an extremist, and he's not. Dude, he's actually pretty moderate. He's actually not far left. He's a moderate leftist. So if he's I do think he's a representation of what a lot of them think. I don't think this is just one off. I think this is it's a problem, man. I don't want to see civil war. I don't want to see civil strife. But I'm starting to not see a fucking off-ramp for this shit. And I'm not thinking about today or tomorrow. I'm thinking 5 or 10 years down the road. I'm not seeing an off-ramp. I mean, maybe the right just dominates everything politically and they just put a stop to this shit and we label Antifa terrorists and we start coming after, and maybe, the right just completely destroys the left and they become a laughingstock and we avoid it that way. That is one way to avoid it. So, I don't know, but I'm not going to have any sympathy for people that have no sympathy for me. It's hard for me to have sympathy when you get banned, when you're literally cheering when one of us gets murdered. And then you expect me to have sympathy because you got demonetized, or a network decided, hey, we don't want you on our network anymore. You're bad for business. I'm supposed to have sympathy. Now, if somebody gets something like Charlie Kirk happens to somebody, I will have sympathy because violence is not ever acceptable. And I'm a human being who feels emotions, unlike a lot of these other people who are allegedly on SSRIs, and I don't know if they even have empathy for anybody else anymore. It's almost like they get like unhealthy levels of confidence. It's good to be confident, but you can have unhealthy levels of confidence. And I think that's kind of what happens with these SSRIs. I don't know. I'm not an expert in it, but something seems to be up. But yeah, sorry, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to sleep really well tonight. You know?
But I've got more video of them beating up people at vigils. I've got more video of women out riding in chalk, asking killers to go kill who they want next. Countless videos of women, white women, and a lot of black women, and a lot of black men. All crazed, all acting.
I've noticed that trend. I've noticed that trend too.
Spocko super chatted $4.99. Alex is freaking priceless.
I agree, Spocko. He's a living legend.
Mentally ill, also.
And he needs to take over Jimmy Kimmel's late night show.
Celebrating Charlie's death. And all sorts of deranged white guys that all look like they're homosexuals. Just saying.
Nothing wrong with it.
Just cackling and just celebrating evil. And they are trying to drive us.
I guess this is her painting over Charlie Kirk, painting.
Into a violent confrontation that Podesta wants.
It's always women, I want you to be able to vote, but God dang it. Can you just stop being idiots? I mean, it's in their nature. Like, they're just emotional and they're easily fucking misled through emotional arguments. And it's just frustrating, man. I'm not saying we should repeal the 19th, but a lot of people are starting to say that. I completely disagree with that, okay? All right, I completely disagree.
And a lot more of this is coming. So you can't have groups calling for violence, celebrating violence, calling for more violence, celebrating when he's killed on the ground, doing diversions so the bad guy can get away, they said, and then not say this is a radicalized terrorist movement that has infected pretty much large sections. I'd say 30-40% of the Democratic Party are now crazed, satanic, pro-pedophile militants. I mean, they are demon-possessed. Here's Destiny.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy, that's one of the...
Yeah, this is what we saw at the beginning. Let's see what else we got here. We played that one. Get Destiny demonetized. Everyone pour one out for Destiny's YouTube channel. You know, it's a sad day. It's a sad day. But I do think there is something about... I'd rather these people be on the platform so we can see what they're saying. We can be informed about how fucking crazy they are. Than them go into their little echo chambers and they're just going to get crazier. Like, nuking Destiny off the internet is not going to just get rid of Destiny. Kicking Destiny off YouTube's not going to get rid of Destiny. He's going to take his large fucking audience over to some little platform, and they're going to get even crazier. They're going to become even more extreme in their little echo chambers. So it's really not the solution. But again, I'm going to sleep well tonight. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to keep my fucking morals about free speech and about censorship. But you caused this. You let the cat out of the bag. You promoted this. You were happy when this was happening before. So now I'm supposed to feel bad? No, I'm not going to feel bad.
Spocko super chatted $1.99. Well, I'll say it. We should repeal the 19.
Oh, don't. How dare you, Spocko? How dare you? How dare you? I mean, there's a lot of conservative women, you know? If we can get women, if we can like get back to teaching about like how important families are, and you know, get women back from this fucking propaganda where like they're guilted about wanting to have a family, and it's like, oh, if being a mother is like the lamest shit ever, I'd rather be a high powered fucking woman in the workplace. And it's like, we got to get back to really teaching people about the importance of the family. and the importance of being a mother. It's the most important job in the world. There is no more important job than being a mother and raising the next generation. And yeah, we got to get this leftist ideology out of schools, and we got to promote motherhood and venerate it and lift it up so that these women can grow up and not think like they got to be fucking whores, you know? And like, oh, if I want to be just as powerful as a man, I got to be a whore. Look, let me tell you something. Sex is great. One night stands is like barely a step above fucking masturbation. Okay? The best sex is with somebody you really fucking care about and love in a relationship, somebody you've gotten to know where you both really love and are very passionate for each other. Those two levels of sex, they don't even come close. The one night stand compared to like the passionate, like, you know, relationship where you love somebody, you know them really well and you trust them and they trust you and you're building a life together. Like, I don't know. We just got to get back to teaching the old fashioned fucking morals of life and family. And like, if we can get back to that, maybe we can get women back on, you know, because I don't want to give up on women yet. I don't want to say they can't vote, you know, I don't want to say that, but Jesus Christ, I understand the argument. I really do. I really fucking do. Where did I leave off here? What am I doing? What else we got? Got anything else? Been through this? Yeah, we played that. Trump, I am pleased. Oh, this one, I really enjoyed this one. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. Now, some people are going to try to say this is bad. Stop acting like a terrorist organization, and maybe you won't be treated like one.
Joe, what's up? $4.99. Liking the live streams lately.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
To see more.
Thank you,
also,
brother.
repeal the 19th.
Yeah, there's been a great little group here that's really enjoying the streams, and it's great. I'm gonna keep doing them. You know, I do at least 4 a week. I'm gonna try to do as many as I can, but at least 4 a week. And the support is off the charts for the level, for how small the show is. It gets so much support.
$5. Crazy people don't know how crazy they really are, especially when surrounded by other crazies.
Yeah, it's true. And then they just get crazier. That's the problem. They just get fucking crazier. Like, especially if you lock them away in a little fucking corner of the world where it's just crazy people they're talking to, they just end up even crazier. That's why it's like, do we want to ban the Destinies off to their little corners? Because then, 10 years, Destiny might be running a fucking terror cell in this country. I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, no, this show's been, I've been super stoked with how the show's doing, man. You guys rock. The level of support, like, the show's small, right? Like, I get 200 to 400 every now and then. Maybe the topic lands and I'll get like 600 or 800 people, but like, it's a small show, but the level of support you guys have been showing is like insane for the low amount of viewership. So I really appreciate you guys. I mean, it's not like I'm getting rich or something, but you guys are allowing me to keep doing this show and to like really go fully behind it. So you guys rock, man. I can't tell you enough. Like, thank you a million times. Like, seriously, I really appreciate the support. And yeah, if you guys want to become a member, all that stuff, I try not to do too many plugs, but links in the description. Let's go ahead. I'm going to play the member shout out. If you want to get listed on the next member shout out, I'll try not to take so long making the next member shout out, but next month I'll do a new member shout out. So if you want to get into the member shout out, you want to be part of the music, become a member, or Patreon as well. I'll make sure to include everybody on Patreon. But let's play the shout out, and we'll call it a show. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about something. I don't know. I got to get more comfortable with not having a ton of topics to talk about and just hanging out sometimes, because that's one of the things that causes me to not do shows. It's like, ooh, I'm not really passionate about this. I want stuff to talk about. That I think sometimes I just need to come on and just hang with you guys and just talk about whatever the fuck, just shoot the shit. So I'm gonna try to do more of those. Also, probably at some point I'm going to be incorporating one members only show, or maybe I'll do one show where like the last hour is members only or something, something to reward the people who are, supporting the show. So love you guys. We'll see you. Gonna play the outro, and we'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night. Okay. Let me see. It's gonna take a second because I don't have this set up right. We're gonna play the member shout out, then the outro, and then we'll see you on the next one. I think I'll use it. Okay, here we go. We'll use the Be Right Back.
What could it?
Turn off the music, and then here's the member shout out. I still got to make a video for this, which I'll try to get it done this weekend. All right, guys, love you very much. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Andy's randomated sandwich, Hydra Dagger, the art of Get Our Jacob Sato. This project is done. Tony Watt, Martin, Chris Delaxa, Max Handshake, Dirty Old Dingo, Omnix, Michael Lopresto, Michael S.T. San Juan, Emma Meg, KO, Aaron Decker, The Crab, Sabade, Arnold, Nicotina, Mike Dogan, Danny McCusker, Brandon, Ray 61. Don Knotts, Jesus Christ, Tommy, Quantumly Immortal, Bobcat, Wolfenstein, Rowan, Costa, Stream, Juice, Inch. Independent Curio, Willie, Wilby, Be Unstoppable, For Life. Solitary Spesser, Jason. Peace Sauce, all of Red Hawk, 2030, Dave, Giuliani, Dante's Guide, Brandon L, Noah H, Satoichi's Guided Sword! Scancun 21, Free Wilford, Brumley, The Midwest, Request Dog, Hodler, Gully Squad, L, Heffet, Ben Stevens, Danny Mistily Zone, JCD 7 Angle, Dr. Strike, Holland, Dan Sock, SC to Jason and Chain, Andrew Wilson. Hey, UDSP and Spore, Fossil Society, Jolly Green, Amanda Smith, Bill Hicks, Blake O'Brien. Happy days! Adam Sandberg, Red Eye Former, K-Flow, DMG, Shaden, Augusto Castillo, Skin Doggy Dog Jazz, Felon, Kevin DeBella, Tactical Dish, Soul Philippines, John Mayers, Disaffected, Malcontent, Timothy Dexter. I put 0388, Sparse Dearth, Graveyard, King Germanic, Werewolf, Nighthawk, Express 11's, Ultimate Flyful, Rusty Shackleford, Liquid Snake, Mr. Cat!
Hey, good.
Andy's randomated sandwich, Hydra Dagger, the art of Get Our Jacob.
Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Here's some other videos to watch that you might like or you might not. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified. Have a great day, my internet friend. I hope I'll see you once again. Please subscribe and hit the like and ring that bell if you want notified.